like, well, how about this? And then, of course, it went through tons and tons of revisions just because that's, what artists do and authors too. And that's kind of the cool thing that we go to schools and we talk about that you never, because kids never like to revise anything, especially in school, on their own. But that's another process that we teach them. It's like, you know what? This was not anything like the original drawings or the story, but we're really pleased with it. So it's just not a one and done kind of thing. We try and teach them that also, and we have a website where they can learn to draw some of the characters as well.
And what is that website?
brickandstick.com. We're also known as hoosterbooks.com. We have several. Our book company is actually Hooster Books. But you'll find us at brickandstick.com, and then we're also, like on Instagram, we're at Hooster Books. And so that's what we're on Facebook as well, as Hooster Books. So in case anyone's confused.
Exactly. You can go to either one. I love that you kind of cross-reference them. That's good. And are there any more books that you're planning?
You know what? There's so many in the works. Right now, we have translated all 3 books into Spanish, and they will be coming soon. Yeah, we were talking to a principal from Chula Vista, actually, and he said, you know what, there is such a need for books to be in Spanish as well, and so we hired someone to translate those. And so they're just in their final stages of getting edited and, check to see that we have all our Spanish correct. And so they will be up there. And so it's also a way for an English speaker to, learn a little bit of Spanish. In the back, there's a little dictionary that goes over some key terms. We're not trying to teach every single word. But, it goes over what shoes are and, brick and stick in Spanish and stuff like that. So it's really kind of fun. So they have different names.
Julie, this is fantastic. And my final question is, how long have you and Chris been married, and how have you done it? I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Oh, my gosh.
Well, that's a funny question. But can I tell you one more thing?
Yes.
For your listeners,
yes.
If they go to the website and type in JJL, like Jennifer Jones Lee,
yes.
We're going to give them 15% off their orders over $15.
Oh, so. Julie, that's awesome. Okay, so brickandstick.com and just type in JJL.
That's it. And the key to being married to Chris is just not walk away. So.
Oh my gosh, I am literally so pleased here. Just don't engage. Don't engage. Just say okay. If only I known that was your key as well. Julie, I think you are the best, and I hope to see you again soon. And thank you for brickandstick.com. JJL is where you can get 15% off, and we'll be looking for those books translated into Spanish soon. So yes, and I am a princess and brick and stick, and you're just the best. Thank you, Julie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you too. See you later.
All right.
Bye. All right, when we come back, I told you she's a delight. And I tease Chris. Honestly, the guy is the best news director I've ever had. All right, don't ever say that I said that. I'll deny it. I'll deny it up one side and down the other. ABC's Sarah Isker joins us next. Democrats seem furious at Senator Joe Manchin, and they say they're going to lean on him and, do all these crazy things. But is there really anything they can do? I don't know. We'll find out from her in just a second. Right now, let's look at your drive on the 5.
As you make your way northbound out of the Buena Park area, leaving Beach Boulevard, continuing toward Carmenita, it's going to be a bit rough for your ride first thing this morning. That's due to a 4-car smash-up that's partially blocking the right lane. So definitely heads up for you here. Westbound side of the 91 to Riverside, patchy for your drive from as far back as La Sierra. As you make your way toward McKinley, and then bogs down pretty heavy for you through Corona from before Main Street, just past the 15, and then remains the case as you head toward Green River. And that's it. Something slowing down the drive time 250 on your cell phone. Keyword KFI traffic. Further northbound for your drive along the 5 as you're making your way out of East LA and Commerce off the 710 through Boyle Heights to the 101. Already seeing a pretty rough ride for you there. Delays through downtown LA on the northbound side of the 101, leaving the 5 toward the 10 San Bernardino freeway, and then for the time being does loosen up ahead towards the 110. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Poliocchini.
Ghetto Air Conditioning is contractor license number 1047781. This is Ken Goodrich with Ghetto Air Conditioning and Plumbing.
You've already heard the story of how my dad asked me to hold the flashlight for him at night while he worked on air conditioning. Dad knew he was dying, but I didn't. You know the story. Anyway, one of the things Dad would have me do is replace all the screws the previous repair guys left out when they reassembled the unit. My job was to find every missing screw and replace it with a brand new one. I still do that today, and so do all my guys. When motors are whirling and compressors are compressing and electrical contacts are doing their thing, those non-stop vibrations caused by missing screws will cause your system to die long before it's time. That's why we tighten your unit down to factory fresh condition on every service call. My guys are perfectionists. No squeaks, rattles, or hums. And don't forget our awesome duct tester. GETL. GOETTL. It'll keep you cool, but it's hard to spell. Call us.
In 1982, Melissa Tate identifies Rodney Lincoln as her mother's killer. Then in 2015, Melissa says Rodney didn't do it. On the Real Killer podcast, Leah Rothman reveals what may be a miscarriage of justice.
It was one of the most brutal crimes in St. Louis history. A single mother murdered. Her 2 young daughters barely survived the attack. I'm on a mission to find the real killer.
Listen to The Real Killer on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
As parents, we've done everything we can to keep our kids safe, happy, and healthy during this pandemic. From finding the best face masks to making sure their hands are clean. And now we have the best tool to help keep them even safer. The most important thing we can do is vaccinate our kids to protect them against COVID-19. Vaccines have been proven safe and effective for children 5 and up. Talk to your child's doctor or visit myturn.ca.gov to find a vaccine near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Owen, Patterson & Owen, proudly representing Angelinos for over 4 decades. $10 billion recovered for accident victims. LA's award-winning law firm. Free consultation at 888-OPO-WINS. 888-OPO-WINS. OPOLaw.com.
We have a lot to celebrate this holiday season, but COVID-19 hasn't gone away. So let's make sure to keep our celebrations safer by following these tips. Get vaccinated to protect loved ones, and get a booster to keep your immunity strong. Wear a mask in all public indoor settings, and if possible, keep gathering small, short, and outdoors if you're uncertain of everyone's vaccination status. Bring on the cheer safely this year. Find a vaccine near you at myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
In Colorado, Fire Smart.
KFI AM 640.
iHeart Radio station.
24-hour news. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. On this Tuesday morning, I'm glad you could join me. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, and some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. USC says it's possible students may start the spring semester doing remote learning because of an uptick in cases of COVID-19. Texas now has reported the first known American death from the Omicron COVID-19 variant. The first Mexican-American woman elected to Congress says she's not going to run for re-election in 2022. Lucille Roybal Allard has been in the House for 30 years. And a jury in Minnesota is about to start day 2 of deliberations in the trial of a former police officer charged in the fatal shooting of a black driver. Kim Potter claims she mistook her gun for a taser when she shot Dante Wright in April during a traffic stop. Right now, let's say good morning to ABC's Sarah Isker. So, Sarah, Democrats seem furious at Senator Joe Manchin, and it feels like there have been all kinds of threats tossed around, and the Biden administration says it's going to lean on Manchin. Well, what can they really do to change his mind?
Nothing, but they can certainly move him out of the Democratic Party, which will cost him the Senate potentially. It is strange because Joe Manchin basically said to cut it out, describing himself. He described himself as fiscally responsible and socially compassionate, and then said, now, if there's no Democrats like that, then they have to push me wherever they want. He said he was sick of the White House staff, quote, just beating the living crap out of people, and they think they'll be submissive. So Joe Manchin's getting a little sick of it. And to what end? You know, progressives and Democrats, I totally understand the frustration that basically a single person killed the Build Back Better plan. That is incredibly frustrating, and they've been negotiating for months with him. at the same time, it's not like it's Joe Manchin or Senator AOC in West Virginia. At this point, I think everyone's pretty much agreed that it's Joe Manchin or a Republican. And so, unfortunately, this is, a bonus senator the Democrats have, if you will. And so to act like, he should be voting the same as a senator from New York or California, it's just sort of silly.
Was it something that he read in the fine print? I mean, I know that he's saying he's sick of being beaten by the staff. And he even made the comment, something about this isn't President Biden, it's the staff. He keeps reiterating it's the staff. But was there something in the fine print? Because he had even offered up his own counter version and said, like, hey, if you guys can agree to this, I am on board. And it seemed like the two sides would meet, but then in the end, what was that one thing, I guess, is what I can't figure out.
Well, this is where I think Democrats have a pretty good argument that nothing has particularly changed in the bill. They've been paring it back as Joe Manchin has asked, and it doesn't seem like it was anything in the fine print. What the, sticking point seemed to be was the expanded child tax credit. Americans have been getting $300 in their bank accounts now for quite some time. Joe Manchin not having it. What he wanted was to pare back the bill, but extend its longitude, if you will. So instead of 3 years for universal pre-K, make it 10 years for universal pre-K, but then get rid of other stuff like the child tax credit. I think Democrats just thought they were going to call a bluff on it, and that we couldn't possibly mean to take $300 out of people's bank accounts moving forward that they had come to expect, and I guess Joe Manchin meant it.
When it comes to him possibly, I know there are a ton of people who say, Joe Manchin, you should just become a Republican. Or, Joe Manchin, will you just become a Republican? And Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell yesterday said, Joe, you want to come to our party? Bring it. You are got to be welcomed with open arms.
Well, Joe Manchin's been asked this question so many times over the last year. He's always said, I'm a lifelong Democrat. Absolutely not. He certainly left the door cracked this time. I don't think we've heard from him before. I will say, I thought I heard more frustration than actual openness to changing parties. I think the most likely outcome, if he were to move at all, would be to simply say he's an independent, but still voting for Chuck Schumer as majority leader, which would mean practically absolutely nothing changes. He'll still vote exactly the way he votes. By the way, even if he becomes a Republican, he's going to keep voting exactly the way he's been voting, right? Still, for Mitch McConnell as majority leader. So then Republicans will simply be frustrated that they have the super left-wing vote as their 51st vote. So, okay, well, poor Joe Manchin, right? He has no friends.
Well, he has no friends, and I thought to myself last night, Mitch McConnell saying, yeah, sure, come on over, you'd be welcome. But I thought, do you really want that guy? Like, you know what he's like. Do you really want to have to deal with him on your team? Do you want that player?
Well, Republicans have been dealing with a Joe Manchin on their team for quite a few decades. His name was John McCain.
Yeah.
And they weren't that nice to John McCain either.
Right. Okay, so when it comes to now the rest of the Biden administration, do we have to assume that based on his actions now, Joe Manchin is going to be the sticking point for whatever comes forward?
Well, look, I think the Joe Manchin the Freudian slip here. I think Joe Biden's legislative agenda arguably is dead at this point. It's hard to see what would get Joe Manchin vote. And don't forget, it's not just Joe Manchin. They've got to get Kristen Sinema, too. And it's not clear to me that Kristen Sinema was going to vote for this bill either. Joe Manchin may be the one taking the, slings and arrows today, but it's not that they didn't have, 50 votes. I'm not sure they have 49 votes. So, the Biden administration's next priorities seem to be around this voting rights bill. But again, I just don't see a world in which Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema sign on to this, because it's not just, things that I think you and I would say are like, oh, well, that's a good idea. It's way out there stuff, super liberal Christmas tree bill, per usual, that's, progressive wish list that maybe tangentially touches on voting. Whereas, for instance, the Electoral Count Act, Now, this is in the weeds, but basically, part of what went wrong in 2020 was if you have contested elections in some of these states, we have a law that says how you deal with that, and that law is incomprehensible. I'm an attorney. I have questions. I mean, there's like punctuation in weird places, 17 clauses in one sentence. And so there's some effort underway to rewrite that so that at least everyone can agree on the rules heading into 2024. I think that's something Joe Manchin System Cinema could get behind. Joe Manchin has said he supports the John Lewis Voting Act, which is a much more narrow, actually about voting rights bill. So I think Democrats are about to just be more and more frustrated, and I think they know that, which is why they're so upset right now. I mean, they were expecting a Christmas present, and they got a lump of coal.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Thank you so much for your time, Sarah, and if I don't talk to you before it, have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. See you later. That's ABC's Sarah Isker. And it is so true. Because for the week or so leading up to it, remember it was like, man, I'm pretty sure the Democrats are going to get this through. It's going to be voted on by Christmas. And starting the new year, everything can take effect. Nope, didn't happen. All right, let's get back to some of these stories coming out of the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A sniper victim's family wants your help in finding his killer.
The family of a tourist who was shot and killed while hiking in northeast L.A. is pleading for more information from police months after his murder. The 29-year-old man from Virginia was shot and killed at random by a suspected sniper while hiking back in September. Police say a single shot was fired from about 75 to 100 feet away, and witnesses reported seeing a gunman hiding in the bushes. A $50,000 reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest. Mark Ron, KFI News.
The U.S. has put out a $5 million bounty for 4 of the sons of Mexican drug lord El Chapo. The State Department says all 4 of the men are leaders in the Sinaloa cartel and are wanted in connection with federal drug crimes. Officials say the cartel is the largest trafficker of heroin, cocaine, and meth in Chicago. And I don't speak a lick of Spanish. I mean, I know zapatos because I love shoes. But really, that's the extent of it. I can't get enough of any of the Narcos shows. And the reason that I'm bringing it up right now is because the new season of Narcos is out, and they kind of take you back to how El Chapo got his start. Fascinating. I know it's a drama, and I know it's supposed to be based on a true story, and you know, how much of it is and how much is dramatized. I don't know the ratio, but it is so good. So even if you don't speak Spanish like me, they've got all the subtitles in there, and I'm not a subtitle girl. Normally I'm like, oh, this is too much effort. This is so suck you in, I can't get enough of it. And I will warn you though, you know, there's a lot of language in it, and there is a lot of violence and some nudity. I mean, it crosses the spectrum, you know? But it is so good. Oh my gosh. And really fast, I gotta tell you about Leonard, because I want to make sure Leonard gets his due. Comet Leonard is the brightest comet of 2021, and it actually made its closest approach to Earth on December 12th when it was about 21 million miles, I guess, from our planet. But now they're calling it the Christmas star, and it's going to be visible in the night sky this Christmas week. So they say that Leonard was discovered earlier this year by a guy named Gregory Leonard. See, this is why you need to discover a comet, because you get to name it after yourself. So Gregory Leonard finds this comet, names it after himself, and he said originally visible in the dark skies before sunrise, Leonard can now be seen in the evening sky and is best viewed at twilight. It will skim across the west-southwest horizon between now up until Christmas time. And while the comet is flown by Venus, reports indicate that the object has been steadily brightening, making it even more visible to the naked eye. So there you go. Look up and see if you can spot Leonard. You gotta find a comet. The Jennifer Comet. That is a nice way to do it. All right, when we come back. Oh, I hope you didn't watch the stock market too closely yesterday, because you're probably listening to me from a hospital bed, because you probably had a heart attack. I'll tell you why there was such a big sell-off, and why hopefully things will calm down today. Also, California's suing Walmart, and which city do you think one-bedroom rent rose the most in over the past year? I will tell you that the city is not in California or New York, which is where I thought it would be. So that's coming up in just a second. Right now, though, let's let Nick tell us about what's up on the 101.
It's a problem for the drive. In fact, thanks for the heads up from Jay on the KFI traffic tip line, pound 250 on your cell phone, keyword KFI traffic. Problems for you in the Quanga Pass on the southbound side of the 101. Not too far from Highland getting to Hollywood. Looks like it is a car fire that is in the process of being cleared to the right shoulder. But right now, you're definitely seeing a bit of an attention getter there. As you make way northbound along the 5 as you get out of way to Park from Beach Boulevard into Norwalk heading toward Carmenita, still dealing with a 4-car smash-up that's blocking the right lane. And then further northbound on the 5, believe it or not, it's going to be a busy one for you through the East LA and Commerce area. 5 northbound off the 710 as you make your way through Boyle Heights to the 101. Westbound side of the 10, stay at the Bonica Freeway, seeing taxi delays for you off the 16 as you make your way toward the 110 and South LA 110 north. Still going for you right now from as far back as Manchester as you make your way toward Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Poliokini.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Audible is the best place to listen for everything you're into, from comics and motivation to popular podcasts and best-selling audiobooks. Right now, take advantage of a special holiday offer and save 60% on your first 3 months. Learn more and sign up at audible.com.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick, and here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Kings hockey is on a pause. The NHL suspending play from Christmas in hopes of limiting COVID-19 outbreak. Action is set to resume next Monday. Rams superstar Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp were among the first players voted to the Pro Bowl. And on a rare Monday night doubleheader, the Ravens survived the COVID-19 depleted Browns. The Vikings beat the Bears to jump into playoff contention. I'm Missy Jordan.
Groundbreaking runs in the family. Safety runs in the family. Extraordinary runs in the family. The 2021 Mercedes-Benz range of SUVs. Every member is waiting to impress. You can learn more at MBUSA.com.
If you own a business and manage to keep 5 or more people on the payroll through the pandemic, there's a new government program that will pay you tens of thousands of dollars per employee. And this is not a loan. This is a grant. The challenge is getting your hands on this money. This is a bureaucracy. InnovationRefunds.com cuts through the red tape, helps you get the cash, they do all of the legwork, they don't charge a penny until you receive the money, and what they do is simply share a percentage of the money they get for you. They got my business a 6-figure refund. Now, their average client gets $250,000. That's impressive. Go to InnovationRefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me button, answer a few questions. InnovationRefunds.com, it's no risk, and it certainly is high reward. InnovationRefunds.com, they help me, I'm sure they can help you. InnovationRefunds.com.
Every year, our team provides food and toys for less fortunate families. Hello, my name is John McClellan, owner of Ruder Hill Plumbing. I remember one Christmas when my dad didn't have any work, and we didn't have any money. I can still recall the look of shame on his face when my brother and I only had one present to open. I was a brat and said something I shouldn't have. To this day, I am still sorry for what I said to my dad. I was selfish and I wish I could take it all back. So I know what it's like for some families. At Ruder Hill Plumbing, we want to make Christmas special. So all this month, we are donating a portion of every plumbing and drain cleaning service we do to families in need. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from our family to yours. Thank you.
CL 102-8886.
Cancer. So many lives are touched by cancer. In fact, 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer. At the American Cancer Society, we're on a mission to free the world from cancer. It's a big mission, driven by little things, like a ride to treatment, a free place to stay, a 24/7 helpline. But these little things are really the big things, because to a cancer patient and their family, they're everything. And every day, we reach thousands of cancer patients who so desperately need these services. But we need your help in getting critical services to more people and families in need this holiday season. Go to cancer.org and join the fight against cancer. It takes just minutes to donate and help provide essential support to cancer patients and their families. Don't wait. More than 1 in 3 people will be diagnosed with cancer. Go to cancer.org right now and make a difference. Go to cancer.org.
Wealth isn't simply about money. It's more than just the numbers in your portfolio or your bank account. Wealth is all the everyday things that money enables you to do, the goals you have, things you want to accomplish, and the life you want to live. So how do you get there? Starting the weekend of January 1st, listen to Everyday Wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chapman, presented by Edelman Financial Analysts. Each week, award-winning journalist Soledad O'Brien and personal finance expert Gene Chapman will explore how our financial decisions shape our everyday lives. They'll be joined by Edelman Financial Analysts, wealth planners, and other guests to demystify challenges like tax-efficient investing, retirement planning, and more. They'll share knowledge and tools to manage your finances today and build wealth for tomorrow. Join the conversation. Everyday Wealth airs each weekend and will be available on major podcasts. For airtime, visit everydaywealth.com.
Over the last 30 years, 8 million U.S. service members have returned home after serving our country around the world. The biggest challenge in returning vet faces is getting back to everyday life. And the key to that is personal wellness. iHeartRadio has teamed up with some of America's biggest veteran organizations and programs to create Show Your Stripe, a one-stop destination for veterans and their families to find the resources they need. If you're a veteran facing challenges, or if you're looking out for the well-being of a veteran you know, visit showyourstripe.org today.
Portions of the following program will be recorded. The Air Force has discharged 27 active duty members who refused to get vaccinated. Now the question is, do they refuse to take medicine for their discharges? Oh, great!
Mornings from 6 to 10 on KFI.
Jennifer Jones Lee, this is your wake-up call. Here's some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The Omicron COVID-19 variant has a dubious history past the Delta strain and is the most common COVID variant in the U.S. The SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne is dealing with a massive shutdown from 130 employees. People in Silverado Canyon and Orange County say cleanup from last week will take a while. We do have more rain coming starting Wednesday, and we've got a chance of rain lasting all the way through Sunday. So, seeing how the cleanup is going to go with more rain on the way. And congratulations to President Biden and the First Lady who have welcomed a German Shepherd puppy to the White House as the newest member of the First Family. The puppy's name is Commander. The Bidens have another German Shepherd named Major. Right now on your wake-up call, let's get into your biz bites, and I really hope you didn't watch the stock market yesterday.